guy's having a seizure or something. I'm afraid he's going to die. Is he outside? Yeah.
Every day in the U.S., over 1,000 people die from sudden cardiac arrest, and in half of those cases, sudden cardiac arrest was the first sign of heart disease.
We can only predict about 10% of those individuals who have it that will actually be at risk.
Sudden cardiac arrest can happen to anyone, anytime, in any place, with little or no warning. And what's worse is that in 60% of all cases, someone nearby could have helped save their lives, but didn't. Why? Because most people don't know or are reluctant to perform CPR.
No, I hate to tell you this, I would not know what to do other than call 911.
Would you know what to do?
No.
Not at all.
No. Call 911. Other than that, do you know CPR?
I used to in Scouts.
I personally wouldn't know what to do besides to listen for a heartbeat, see if they're breathing, and then get help. That's what I would do.
But you don't know CPR?
No, I don't.
Now there's a new life-saving method that's simple to learn and easy to remember. Just call and pump.
Call means call 911 and pump on the chest.
Call and pump is a way for every one of us to take action when someone collapses with sudden cardiac arrest. With call and pump, you don't check for a pulse, clear the airway, or do mouth-to-mouth breathing. With call and pump, all you do is pump on the chest. Medical experts say this life-saving method takes the fear out of performing traditional CPR.
Most of the fear comes from A, remembering what to do, the sequence to do, and B, a fear of breathing for people. And if you eliminate that and simplify it down to just pressing on the chest, people are willing to do this.
To perform call and pump, simply call 911 and the dispatcher will walk you through the steps.
Rock County 911, where's the emergency?
And is he conscious at this time? Do you know compression-only CPR? I can help you if you'd like. All right, listen carefully. I'm going to tell you what to do.
We're going to make sure the victim's lying flat on their back, expose their chest, lock my elbows, start pushing at a rate of 100 a minute. And just continue this until help arrives.
Where in the chest do you put it?
Right in the middle of the chest, right in line with the nipples.
This chest compression should be performed even if the victim is gasping.
If they're gasping, then they probably just had their cardiac arrest. The cardiac arrest is fresh. They just collapsed, which is the perfect time to get on the chest and pump.
And don't worry, this pumping action won't hurt the victim.
At this point, the victim doesn't have a pulse and is not breathing and is essentially dead, so anything you do is going to improve their chance of surviving.
Call and pump, or continuous chest compression, stems from decades of research, with the University of Arizona Sarver Heart Center in Tucson at the forefront. In spring 2004, Rock and Walworth counties in southern Wisconsin became the first rural area in the country to implement this new life-saving method. Preliminary findings show, when compared to traditional CPR, call and pump is more effective.
What we know is when people have sudden coronary death and they collapse suddenly, there's normal oxygen in their bloodstream. So breathing is not important really for up to 8 to 10 minutes. What is mandatory is that we take that oxygenated blood and we circulate it. And it's the chest compressions, moving the blood around to the brain and the heart continuously that is mandatory to resuscitate people.
And what we found is that with standard routine CPR, that individuals are truly incapable. Laypersons almost never, even professionals often, they cannot deliver those breaths quick enough and as a consequence, they spend too much time not delivering the blood. They are not doing chest compression.
And by the time EMS gets there 7-8 minutes later, it's unfortunately too late for the patient.
It's very frustrating for us out in the field when we go and we put our heart and sweat into running codes, and the outcome is very poor usually.
A 3-year study in Rock County, Wisconsin showed there was only a 6% survival rate for pulseless, non-breathing cardiac arrest patients. That means out of about an average of 120 cardiac arrests in the area, only about 7 patients survive.
thing that's going to make the big difference now is that layperson. If we can get a lot of these laypersons, the general public, to not be afraid to do compressions.
It's going to make our job a lot easier.
Actually, Call and Pump is making a difference. Within the first 3 months, paramedics and emergency room physicians saw firsthand how Call and Pump is a lifesaver.
We saved a life within 3 weeks of putting it into our system in Southern Rock County. We had a patient collapse, putting on roofing. His partner called 911. He was told he did not know how to do CPR. He was told how to do it by phone guidance. He started, did exactly what he was told, and had to do CPR for 6 minutes.
You can do it really fast. You ready? You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And EMS got there, and within 2 counter shocks, the patient resuscitated. He walked out of the hospital in 4 days.
But we're seeing at least a doubling in terms of survival rates.
One of those survivors is 54-year-old Claudia Buttry. She was working at Piggly Wiggly in Delavan, Wisconsin, stocking store shelves when she collapsed without warning in aisle 11. Her co-worker called 911.
Well, we were dispatched to a female down. We weren't quite sure what was going on.
Fortunately, Dawn Blanton, who's an off-duty paramedic, heard the call 2 stores down from Piggly Wiggly and ran to Claudia's rescue.
By the time I got to the doors here at this store, they had told me she was not breathing, so I assumed it was a sudden cardiac arrest event.
When Dawn found Claudia on the floor, people were all around her, but they didn't know what to do. That's when Dawn got down right away and started chest compressions until EMS arrived.
So I came down and I lifted her shirt up and I basically found the middle of her chest and I went like this and I just started doing my chest compressions at about 100. And the police officer arrived right behind me. I said, I've started doing continuous chest compressions. You need to get out your AED. And so that's when he came and he attached his AED and shocked her, and she's alive today.
I don't know how to thank her. She saved my life, and I am very grateful to her.
Claudia says, thanks to Dawn, she was there to see her first grandchild born, 2 months to the day of her cardiac arrest.
There were a lot of tears, and I was so thankful that my family could enjoy that moment and not have my death take all the joy away. And, you know, I could be there to share it. It just makes everything that much more precious.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful to save somebody's life with something so simple.
Even though Dawn is a trained paramedic, she says anybody can do what she did.
Anybody can do this as long as you have the ability to come down and pump on somebody's chest. That's all it takes. It doesn't take a miracle. It just takes you doing something, you doing some action of pumping.
I'm proof of how important it is. I wouldn't be here if there wasn't anybody there that didn't know what to do. I'm alive.
No one wants to watch a loved one or a stranger die needlessly from sudden cardiac arrest. By simply remembering the phrase, call and pump, you can be a lifesaver. For more information on training for call and pump or standard CPR, visit the website at www.callandpump.org.